welcome to the Good Boy Podcast, the monthly dog storytelling podcast. I am your host, Ilya Alexeyev, and today I am joined again with my brother Dima. Thanks for coming on again, Dima.
Thanks for having me.
You know, obviously you're my brother. I like talking to you, but this isn't, unfortunately, the subject that I would like to talk about, and I almost didn't, but you told me that you think it would be right. Unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to our longtime dog, Mikey. He was 11-year-old black lab. We got him when he was 9 months old, and he was everything that we wanted in a dog. Picturesque dog. I wrote this in just preparation. Mikey had a profound impact on me. He was the ideal dog. He chased the ball, liked the football, played tug-of-war. He was a watchdog. He made funny noises. And he was big inspiration on making this show. In fact, he was the logo for a long time. And the logo right now looks like it's a brown dog, but I just did that for a different color. Like, in my head, it's still him, even though he was a black lab. He, unfortunately, his health was declining, and, you know, it was time. I brought you on so we could just kind of reminisce, go over, talk about some of the good times. If you told the story before, that's fine. We'll retell it. New people listening, or just to reiterate and give people the full picture of Mikey. So, the first story I wanted to talk about, which was, this was within the first few months of us adopting him, and this is when I was in college, and so I came home on a Friday night. It was like 9 or 10 o'clock, and we're walking him, and somehow he was like smelling something very intently, and he was behind. I think he was like behind us, and we wanted him to like catch up, and so we like pulled the leash, had pulled the harness, and somehow it slipped out. And so it's like 9 or 10 o'clock, and he was just running around on someone's front lawn. And I was at the time, like, obviously I wasn't mad. I was just like so worried that he was going to run away. And it just hadn't occurred to me because, like, our previous dogs they weren't young when we got, one was older than us, and the other one was, a senior dog when we got him. So we weren't used to that kind of like play like that. And so like it felt like a good, it's probably only a couple of minutes, but it felt like a good like 20 minutes or so of us running around chasing him. You remember this time, right?
Yeah. I was playing like make sure.
Yeah. So we were communicating between the two of us like to like strategize like how we're gonna like get him. It kind of like reminded me of like catching the greased pig. Like we couldn't get him, and then finally he stopped, and he started pooping, and then we were able to quickly throw on the leash while he was pooping. And thankfully, this happened at night. Like, the people at the house, like, didn't see us or hear us, because I would have been embarrassed. Like, I feel really self-conscious, like, when the dog poops, because other people are weird, and, like, if you're a dog person, you understand, like, the dog poops where they poop, they smell they like. But, like, I don't know how people would react to a dog just running around on their lawn.
Yeah, without a leash.
And there's just two guys trying to chase him. That story kind of like really epitomized like the playfulness of Mikey, and
yeah, he just wanted to play like basically as much as he could.
And when I was just prepping for this episode, like that was like I just realized, like, oh, he was never going to run away because he didn't want to. He just wanted to run around. And so, like, it makes more sense looking back on it now. But at the time, I was like, we just got in my head, as I'm chasing him, like, these thoughts racing in my head. Like, we just got him. He's running around. Like, what if he runs down the street? Like, I like to think I'm pretty fast, but I'm obviously not faster than a dog. Like, But of course, poop is the savior.
Yep.
That's the old saying.
Yeah, it's
You don't got a good one for that.
Yeah, I don't.
The second story, this is like, this isn't really much in depth of a story, but in college, within the same few months of us having him, I was helping this girl with her laptop. I was fixing her laptop, and I think she saw my computer. I had my wallpaper, a picture of Mikey, and we just started talking about dogs, and I felt like a 5-year-old kid because like at the time I was just telling like every single like Mikey story that there was at the time, where it's like, and then he did this, and it was like, and then his poop was this big. Obviously those aren't the stories I told, but like
you might have.
I mean, it was a while ago, so I don't remember the exact stories I told. Though, like I just was like going on, and then in my head like, oh, I should probably like shut up because I'm like talking for like 5 minutes straight, 10 minutes straight of just like, and then he did this. Oh yeah, and then it was really funny. He jumped on the table and was like drinking my dad's coffee.
I mean, I kind of did a similar thing. I would just say, like, do you want to see a picture of my dog? And I would just throw out my phone and show him a picture of Mikey, and then I started making it into a joke where I'd throw in other pictures.
Oh, like oh yeah, sure, I'll see a picture of your dog, and then it's you like flipping up down or something.
I mean, yeah, something like that. But I don't take pictures of me flipping off the bird. No cussing from me.
Do you have any like stories that if you were writing the book of Mikey, like this is like the first one I'm gonna like, not necessarily in order, but like this is like the first thing that pops in my head?
Well, you touched on him. I mean, we this was like the first time we had to leave him alone. And, I didn't have like a first period, and I had to take him to the vet because he drank coffee and drank my dad's medication, or ate my dad's medication, and we got to get his stomach pumped.
And so that was the thing, is like there was some medicine on the kitchen table, and he jumped on the table and ate it. And that's the thing where it was like, it was scary. I remember being like upset at our dad because it's like we don't know what this will have, the effect it will have on this dog, and we just got this dog. I feel like that was within a week or two.
No, it was we got
the medicine.
That was like within the first month, yeah.
Okay, but it was like relatively quick of us getting him, and it was just like, oh great, like I hope nothing bad happens to it. Like I said, like we didn't have to take care of like a young dog before, so it's like way bigger responsibility than you just have to, an older dog that you've lived with, where you just have to walk and feed it, and that's basically
and then hang out with it, because that's good enough. You don't need to necessarily. I mean that's what Mike eventually got to. I mean, not to just jump ahead, but I mean he just became like, oh, I'm hanging out with the with us, like when we're watching football or when we're just hanging out, and he really liked that, and he just needed to chew on a ball, and that was like enough play for him, the last few years.
Yeah. Speaking of balls, like I remember it felt, this was probably so we got him the day after Christmas 2009.
Yeah.
And so I just remember that summer, I just graduated high school, playing video games, and we had the sliding door open, and he would just like, we'd throw the ball to him, he'd chase it, come back. And
well, no, you're not giving him credit. He would throw a ball, he would wait, and then you throw the second ball, and then he would.
Oh, okay.
Well, no,
yeah, he did do that. He did have this intricate system.
Yeah, and he went after like with the like he had like he knew what order to get like I don't know, he just knew what order.
That wasn't where I was going with that one. I was just going where it's like it felt like there were days where it's like I would just be sitting there playing video games during the week during the summer, and I would just like I felt like I throw him the ball all day. Like he'd just come, drop like plop the ball, like he'd like kind of like release it from his mouth where it would kind of get to me. I'd be able to throw the ball, he'd chase it across the backyard and come back, and it felt like basically did that all day, and he was happy doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that was yeah, he loved it. He loved chasing balls. I mean, we took him to the dog park, and that was like him. That's what all he's wanted to do was just chase a ball. Like he didn't want to interact with any dogs.
He did not care. He did not care about any of the dogs, which was, I think, pretty unique. Like he did not want to smell any of the dogs. He did not care at all. If we walked him, he'd want to see other dogs.
Yeah.
At the dog park, he knew it was all business for him. Like he was gonna chase the ball, and the dog park we would take him was pretty big. Like it was longer than the length we could throw the ball. And just another, I mean, I think it was incredible. I don't know how rare it is, but he was really good at catching the tennis ball. And I swear there was like a year streak where he got every ball that I threw.
I mean, every ball you threw like vertically.
Yeah, vertically, not like one like kind of like a on the ground, so it bounces a bunch of time. Like I just throw it like straight as if I was throwing it to someone, but then he would run and catch it. And I, to be fair, like I wasn't throwing it like I wasn't trying to like beat him. I was doing something catchable, but he had just a tremendous streak. Just seeing other dogs, like, when we had him and after, is like, not all dogs like that. Like, they like the ball, but they're not necessarily, like, have the same catching ability.
I mean, Dewey, he would play with the ball for, like, maybe, like, a minute, but that was good enough for him.
You often hear dogs have jobs, and that was, like, his job, was to catch the ball.
Yeah.
At least, according to him.
Yeah, I mean, that was his favorite thing. That's where he got most of his enjoyment. I mean, he did like to wrestle, and play tug of war, but like his primary, like he would, if he had to choose, he would choose the tennis ball. Yeah,
the ball is life is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this summer was like the last kind of character moment that he had was. We were making pizza on a little outdoor pizza oven that we have, and we have two peels for the pizza, and so like we were finishing up, and so we had one pizza that was just on the peel. His last escapade was he grabbed the handle of it and started pulling it. And luckily we caught him before like it fell on the ground. A younger Mikey would have just taken it, but it was really funny, like him trying to take it. Like
yeah, he was really gentle with it.
It felt like a cartoon, and so that was like the last. I mean, do you remember one after that? Like that was the last like really funny thing that he did. Like,
yeah, that was the last.
There's always like he always made like groany, funny noises, like when he was excited and when he would like. Sometimes after he pooped, he'd release a big yawn, or he sees someone. So I guess I just want to touch on kind of wrapping this up, just kind of like how you felt after we did, we did say our goodbye to Mikey. I mean, for me, I knew it was coming like a couple days before, so that, it was time. So that was, I feel like, lessened like a huge impact, but it was still really tough.
Yeah, because it was kind of just sudden. I mean, sudden in like his decline was there's like he was fine, and then just like like not like where he was. He wasn't like where he was like a year ago.
But it felt just like a couple weeks, and he was just like getting really bad.
Yeah, he wasn't eating, he wasn't drinking, and
so, okay, well, I'll go ahead and just say, I wasn't originally going to say this. There's like a thing that dogs do where when they know it's their time, they leave the pack. For him, that was just standing outside. So for the last day or two, literally just like standing out in the backyard, like by himself. just like standing, staring off. Tried getting him inside, and that he didn't seem interested
he basically
in
would
coming inside.
refuse to.
Picked him up and brought him inside before, and it wasn't like I was denying it or whatever, but I just didn't want him to be outside. I mean, this was like the week before Thanksgiving, a couple days before Thanksgiving, so
Yeah.
it was definitely, it was cold, so it's like I don't want him out there, and so that was really hard. And those last couple of days, I mean, those first few days were really tough too. I mean, I think it really hit me for at least a week hard. I mean, like we would feed him at 5:00, and I just whatever, I'm just doing my thing. It's like, oh, it's 5:00, and then like, oh, it's not time to feed the dog. I'm not trying to make it stupid.
No,
it's 5:00 somewhere.
No, yeah. I mean, I would just like look. He would sit under like our piano, and I would just look for him. Just and
I did the same thing. I'd be like, I would just by habit just look there. I mean, the past couple of months, I mean, he'd basically just like sleep there, or sit there. It was just something that was there, and like dogs become like your life changes with them. I mean, not just emotionally, but like literally, like your schedule is affected by them. You have to walk them, you have to feed them. Those are
your
like,
routine.
Your decision making is like, oh, like we went on vacation or whatever. It's like, okay, well, we have to put him in like a dog hotel or something, or have someone come over and feed him. That aspect of affecting your life, and then there's just the emotional impact. Like they're always there. I mean, dogs are usually so loving and happy, and it really felt like missing something, and so that was really tough.
Yeah, it was really tough, and yeah, I don't know. It's just like,
I mean, we had him for almost 11 years. I just kept thinking about all the things, all the accomplishments I've done. Like I graduated high school, graduated college, like other personal things that I've done, and he was there.
And I didn't do those things, and he was still there.
You graduated high school.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling the joke, because I'm legit tearing up right now. I mean, I don't really know what to say other than that I miss him.
Yeah, I mean, his personality was just something we got used to, and something we just miss. I mean, I still miss it. We still talk about Mike like he's here. I mean, not like in a weird way, but like
like Mike would have done this, but yeah, basically, if Mikey was here, he would have barked, whatever. I mean, that's not super telling, but like just things like that. You could already,
or you're like young Mikey would have done this, or
yeah, exactly. To avoid ending this episode, so this is the December episode in a really tough year, pandemic and all of that. Want to say that we did adopt a new dog. We adopted a new puppy.
Yeah,
and I've been trying to not say it, but he's in the room here recording, and he's squeaked his toy, and that was definitely the right thing we needed to do. So I'm gonna call it here. But if you made it this far, thank you. Dogs have a big impact in our lives, so that's why I'm so emotional. I'm not just talking about craft beer or something like that. That's like whatever you can be passionate about, but it's not something people feel. I mean, it's not something necessary, Thank you for listening. The show will continue next year, and a new episode talking about a wonderful puppy. Thank you.